going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. If you'll join me for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, let the record show that all board members are here except for Mr. Reyes. And I will accept a motion to adopt our agenda.
So moved.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Ms. Romerman? And the chair votes yes as well. Now our consent agenda. All of the following items, those items of a routine nature normally approved at board meetings, will be approved by one vote unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. The consent agenda consists of the discussion, consideration, and action on the following items. Items A through B.
Second.
Ms. Rimmerman? Yes. Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes as well. All right, information reports. USPA report. Mr. Morgan or anyone else? All right, UCTA report. Ms. Gunter.
President McAdams, Dr. Hartzler, and members of the board. The UCTA Legislative Committee has been gearing up for the upcoming legislative, well, it started now, the legislative session. There are several proposed bills that are anti-public schools and that are against education professionals, as I'm sure you know. And we're planning several trips to the Capitol to lobby with those legislators. UCTA is also having a social event later this month for all of our members. And we're continuing to spotlight members on our social media accounts. And so I hope that some of you are able to see some of the great things that are going on in our classrooms.
Thank you. All right, next we have a special recognition of 6th and 7th grade staff members. Dr. Hartzler.
Thank you, President McAdams. At this time, if I could ask Tammy Ward and Crystal Pounds to come forward. As they're coming up to the podium, I'll let you all go ahead and go from the podium there. I do want you to know that this is something, an event that happened here this last semester, and wanted to certainly take a moment to not only bring in the leaders of this building, but also the staff members that were involved, and I'll let you all go ahead and make this recognition.
All right. Back in, it was either the end of November or the beginning of December, we had an emergency on our campus. We had a faculty member who needed life-saving support, and we had multiple staff members come together to provide the care that this faculty member needed, and we are so thankful to each and every one of them, because without each one of them, he would not be sitting here tonight. And so we're going to call up the main people who were there that day. And first, we're going to have Rich Lohman. He can come up. And then I'm going to have Amy Bustos, my school nurse, come up.
And then I'd also like to invite Shauna Height and Carol Samuels up so that we could recognize them. I said it was just the timing. Rich had actually stepped outside of his classroom, and so the incident actually happened in a hallway. The two teachers that are up here, they were actually coming back they had just dropped their kids off at their electives, and I don't know the specifics, if they saw the nurse, whatever, but they just jumped in. There were also a lot of people not here that jumped in, and we definitely have a saying in our building. In 6th grade, we say all in. In 7th grade, they say better, stronger, together. And really, that was the mantra of this day. And as administrators, I mean, by the time I got to this scene, they were already like full on doing what they needed to do to save a life. And I was just able to really like manage anything else that was going on and making sure I was informing people and getting medical personnel in the building. And so really just kudos. You know, we know as any teacher, you are truly saving lives on a different level each and every day with our kids. But on this day, they stepped up and they truly saved a life for a colleague.
Thank y'all very much.
I think it's while we're kind of getting positioned, it's a good reminder for all of us to also know where the AEDs are in our buildings. It's something, in full disclosure, that when I came back to the service center, I asked a question because I'm like, I'm not quite sure. I am thankful to Dr. Federline. This is his first really big test. I said, where's it at? He knew instantly. I said, good, make sure you keep that in mind. So,
All right.
thank you.
If I could, just real quickly, the out-of-hospital survival rate for getting CPR is like 10%. So it's just amazing to see the district go above and beyond inside and outside of the classroom. And it just, of course, even a tragic situation, just warms my heart to see you guys work so beautifully together. So just amazing to be a part of that and to see you guys work. Thank you.
Next on the agenda, hearings and correspondence. Has anyone signed up to speak? Okay. Business agenda. First reading of 2 new proposed 2024-2025 school calendars. Dr. Hartzler.
As the old saying goes, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. And this is kind of where we find ourselves. I can tell you in the 11 years that I've been putting these calendars together, some years you kind of just, I think, knock it out of the park. And in other years, you kind of struggle a little bit with the calendars and what we're trying to do. This is a great example of, and I love this, that when we do these kind of proposals, we put them out there for a first read. I will say we had really historic input on this calendar that I proposed back in January, and I'm very thankful for that. We have listened. We haven't just heard you. We've listened. And when we received the feedback and the input, I'm thankful that Ms. Calvin and Teaching and Learning categorized these concerns. And really, there was a dominant kind of narrative here that we gleaned from this input, and that is, one, our parents and staff members really didn't care for the proposal of having collaboration on a Friday and then every other Friday coming back with another collaboration. They felt like that was too disruptive. And so we agreed, and we value that input. So we have been busy really within the first probably week of putting the calendar out, started getting a lot of emails and realizing, okay, this is not going to be the calendar that I'm going to recommend that the board adopt in February. From that, and also working with UCTA, our unions as well, and looking at this feedback, we are coming back now to the board to propose 2 options to the 24-25 school calendar, one being a late start Friday that takes place every Friday, like what we used to have before, but it is much longer, I will say, than the late start Fridays that we originally had in place prior to the pandemic. That was the one also concern that we noticed in this input, is that they wanted more time from when we were developing this first proposal. And so we're able to do that now with this late start Friday, and also doing it every Friday. And then the other, believe it or not, to my surprise, in full disclosure, I said I don't see how in the world at all folks would like the idea of a early release. And lo and behold, the input that we received had many recommendations of an early release on Friday. Again, calendars are the same. The difference being is that one will be a late start Friday and the other one will be an early release Friday. So taking that input, I think truly we have created two viable calendars to present to our patrons and to our staff that we'll put out there over this next month, and then we'll come back in March based on the input that we receive, and hopefully have a calendar that we can work with. Excuse me. In addition to that, we have put together a survey through a thought exchange that we are going to be releasing, I think, Dr. Nelson, this week is when it's set to go out, which will be a survey that parents and staff members can weigh in on as well. And from that thought exchange, we'll also be able to theme out any potential concerns, or not just even concerns, the pros, if you will, of why they might like the late start Friday or early release. So that is where we stand. We will make this available to the public. Chris, I think by tomorrow morning, we will have it set to go, and that's where we stand. So hopefully we'll have something in March that we can come back, excuse me, that I feel better about presenting to the board for final adoption. But if not, we'll go back and we'll try again to try to come up with the best calendar that we can. There's no such thing as a perfect calendar. You all know that. But that is where we're at. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have of me or teaching and learning regarding these two proposed calendars.
Yeah, I appreciate the thought that went into this. And to be clear, the comments that I received back were all for collaboration in trying to find a workable way to do that. And I think you've put together a couple of good proposals here. Question on the late start Friday. If I just had a situation, well, first of all, I assume buses would be delayed then. So buses would not run at the same time. If I had a situation, though, where that's just not going to work for my job, kids need to be there at the same time, all the time, would schools still be open and available for the children to be present?
I'll let
Right.
Ms. Calvin
I'm going to
answer.
assume it's not going to be any different than how we implemented this before with Late Start Friday. There will always be some situations like that. And we'll do I know the principals will do their absolute best to accommodate the parents.
But in such a situation, the parent would have to make arrangements to get them to school. If they're relying on the buses are going to run later. Okay, all right, thank you.
So next item is an update on our union's 5-year strategic plan. Dr. Nelson.
President McAdams, Dr. Hartzler, and Board, I'm bringing to you tonight an update on our strategic plan. We have completed the objectives, measures, and timeline document that you received in your packet. So I'm going to share just a little bit about this document, which will be posted on the website as well. Union Public Schools is a district that is known for proactive innovation, a commitment to excellence, a devotion to the needs of students, and the achievement of high expectations. Our strategic plan is designed to keep us on that course and at the same time enable the continuing pursuit of new opportunities for our students while supporting a strong and healthy culture among our staff. Two principles can summarize the strategic plan: persist in our core values and guiding principles while we pursue progress toward our mission of 100% graduation, college, and career ready. The plan's strategic pursuits provide guidance for leadership policy decisions, as well as the development of initiatives, programs, and strategies to achieve our mission. The focus areas are teaching and learning, partnerships, human capital, business and operations, and culture. District division and departmental leaders have collaborated to identify 40 strategic objectives to specify how the strategic pursuits will be supported over the next 5 years. The 40 strategic objectives have been combined into one document that's presented to you tonight. Since each division or department supports multiple areas, you'll see that there is organizational overlap in the strategic objectives, creating a synergistic approach to supporting each strategic pursuit. This example shows the first page of the document to demonstrate the layout by focus area. The strategic objectives are listed on the left. In this example, the objective to increase math proficiency for all students is circled. Next, the actions state the steps that will be taken to accomplish the objective. The performance measures are the ways that progress toward achieving the objectives will be tracked. Finally, the timeline shows the stages of planning, developing, and implementing the actions by school year. The green dot indicates a fully implemented process to achieve the objective. All key measures mentioned in the strategic plan are included on the strategic objectives document, along with other more specific measures related to the objectives. Exemplifying the core values of transparency and accountability, the strategic objectives document will be posted on the district website so the various district stakeholders can see how the strategic pursuits are expected to be accomplished. The document also serves as a reference point to check our progress along the way. And once again, this planning process and commitment to take the action steps to achieve the strategic objectives in a timely way is centered around our core purpose of providing a high-quality educational experience leading to graduating each and every student college and career ready. Board, I invite you to review this document at your convenience, and we welcome your feedback as we move along. It will be updated on an annual basis and continue to serve as a guide to us in accomplishing our 5-year plan.
Any questions?
This is probably the 4th or 5th time I've read it. Get tickled by it every time. Do we know, I know this might be a little bit in the weeds, but it's the first time I saw it and I really enjoyed it, when the students take the Hope Scale and this at the secondary level?
Yes, right now it's 3rd grade through 9th grade 3 times a year. And then we also, and that's under Scott Pennington's leadership, with Jessica Hogamoon, with our Hope Initiative and department. We also use the Hope Scale in our school capacity surveys with the school health indicators, and that all of 4th grade and then all the secondary students participate in that as well. That's once a year that we look at that. So we look at trends in both of those ways of surveying the Hope Scale.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes?
If I could just make a little statement here, I know we launched this first strategic plan, if you all recall, about 12 years ago. And there was a point in time where I needed to hand this off and transition it off. Certainly I knew the person that would take this and take it to a whole nother level, and that's Dr. Nelson. So we appreciate your diligence to making sure that this document isn't just a document that sits on the shelves. This is something that is an action document, truly. And so I appreciate all of his work and his team, and again, focus that goes into making really our strategic plan come to life. As with a lot of strategic plans, unfortunately, they're not filled with as much action as ours is, and I appreciate that. He puts a lot of work into the annual surveys along with our partnership with OU Tulsa and all of their statisticians to be able to then kind of distill, if you will, the surveys and the information that comes out of those surveys. And so just want to take a moment to say thank you for that. I know this is a lot of work, having put together the first one for the district. many years ago, but he truly has taken it to another level that I've never dreamed of that we would be at. So saves our district a lot of money, lots of money. I mean, we're talking some districts pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for a group to come in and to implement or to develop and then implement a strategic plan. And we do that, trust me, at a very good price. So.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to serve in this way.
Well, and I'll just add, in times of crisis, what do? We've got a document to fall back on. This is what our core values are. This is where our strategic pursuits are. So it helps in that way as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm next, so I'll stay.
All right. Consider and take action on the proposed revisions to board policies 5500, student transfer, and 5505, credit by exam and proficiency-based promotion.
Yes, Board, these are a couple of policy updates I recommend that you would approve this evening. I know it's rare that we ask for a one-time review and approval. They are timely approvals based on some changes that have occurred in the Oklahoma Administrative Code with regard to the timing of canceling transfers. The Administrative Code, which was updated after our board policy had been written, states that transfers can't be canceled during the school year. We need to wait till the end of the year. So that's one part of the revision. Also, the OSSAA has updated their rules about transfers, and so we needed to make a change so that our board policy would accommodate that rule change, and we've actually worded it such that if their rules are updated again, our policy will be able to honor those rules for transfers and eligibility. And then the second is we have some upcoming situations that are rare but foreseeable with regard to doing some credit by exam with partial credit in a course where some of the course is done by proficiency assessments and part of the course is done with the coursework. And in such a case, we would want the student's grade to be assigned according to what they earned in the course as opposed to making an automatic A. The A has been written into policy in the past because our proficiency-based promotion exams are generally, they are up until now, they're a one-time exam of the entire course. Students scored 90%, and so putting an A on the transcript, although it does not count in the GPA according to policy, the students are recognized for that. But we foresee a couple of minor situations with some alternative students where they might earn a different grade, and we want to be able to do that without, place that grade on the transcript without violating board policies. That's why that request is coming to you at this time. So.
Any questions?
Second.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Ms. Silverman? Yes. And the chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
All right, under personnel, consider and take action on the changes to the 2023-2024 early retirement incentive ERI programs participation list. Mr. Lowry.
Thank you, President McAdams, Dr. Hartzler, members of the board. I'm happy to say this is the final ERI for this year. We did get everybody completed that wanted to remain on ERI, and all the papers properly signed in a timely manner. So that is the good news. We have 4 certified staff, 4 support staff, and 6 administrators this year. As you know, the ERI program is a great retention tool, allowing us to maintain our teachers for a few extra years, and then a little bit of golden handcuffs with that nice bonus of getting a few years of paid health insurance makes a big difference. We know that other districts are actually starting to look at what we do and try to figure out how they can do that as well. We've got the numbers there. It'll potentially save the district a little bit on the certified side, $62,000. little over that. It will cost us $500,000 for the whole program on the certified side, and it'll cost us $81,000 for the support. ERI is the total cost to the district. But as again, this is a great program that I know our employees have a great interest in. And a lot of people this year have asked why the numbers are a little bit lower. It did come out a little bit lower this year with the raise this past year. Once again, a few teachers and staff have backed off a little bit, knowing that a few more years at a higher salary makes for a higher retirement. So now if we can just keep the state doing that regularly, that would be much better for all of us. But Dr. Hartscher will keep working on that as well as all of us with the legislature. So be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Ms. Rowan? Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes as well. Thank you. All right, under school operations, consider and take action to award the commodity processing bids for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Ms. Bell?
Good evening, President McAdams, Dr. Hartzler, members of the board. It is that time of year again to consider awarding to the vendors for commodity processing for next school year. And so tonight, I would recommend you consider approving for 10 vendors for next school year in the aggregate amount of $1,034,816.63. So this school year, we were actually allocated just 1% less for our PAL assistance dollars than we were last year, which was encouraging because last school year we had a decrease of $200,000, and so that was discouraging at that time. So that was good to see that this year, that it was not too off from previous years. And so we do plan on bringing in some extra product at the end of this school year to start next school year, which has been a common practice for us, and it really benefits us to carry us through the summer and to carry us into next school year as well. Are there any questions?
Move for approval.
Second.
Ms. Rowan? Yes. Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Chair votes yes as well. All right, consider and take action on the blanket purchase order for additional potato products from McCain Foods USA Incorporated in the amount of $220,000 from Child Nutrition Funds. Ms. Bell?
So this is for potato products. We've been on track to serve more students this year, more meals, which is really encouraging as our free and reduced percentage has gone up this school year. So with that, we are asking that you consider approving an additional blanket purchase order to McCain's Foods USA Incorporated for $220,000 to finish off the school year, and then also that would allow us to bring in some extra potatoes to carry us through the summer food service program and then to start school with for next school year.
Second.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Ms. Rowan? Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
All right, consider and take action on the purchase of Barracuda Sentinel and forensics accessories from Dursec Incorporated in the amount of $184,900 from bond funds. Mr. Borland?
Yes, good evening. This is our application that we use to do all of our email security, anti-spam filter, e-discovery compliance, archival, as well as our OneDrive online cloud backup.
Yeah, I was glad to hear you say archival. I was going to ask about that, as I didn't see that as I initially read through it. It's probably in there, but I skipped over that. But yes, I see this as a very valuable tool for all the things you mentioned, as well as the archival.
Yeah, we have 7 years of emails out there, so it's quite a few emails.
Yes.
I'd hate to try to download this.
Right. Move for approval.
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Ms. Rowan? And the chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
Presentation of Internet Protocol in compliance with the Child Internet Protection Act, SEPA, and consider and take action to authorize the superintendent or designee to sign any subsequent E-rate documents with the exception of any contract with financial obligations. Mr. Borland?
Just our annual report that we are compliant with SIPA. We filter all internet activity on children. We actually have 2 filters in place. So we have one on their device that works on premise as well as when they're at home. And then when they're on premise, there's a second filter also. So we have 2 filters, fully compliant. The rest of that is we have a lot of forms we have to sign during the E-rate season. So we're seeking permission to be able to sign those documents. Other than any that have any type of contractual obligation, we'll still bring those individually to the board.
Move for approval?
Second.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Ms. Romerman? Yes. Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Consider and take action to approve the purchase and installation of a video display system, 2 fixed LED scoreboards, and 2 shot clocks for the UMAC Arena from AMAX Sign Company in the amount of $423,013 from bond funds. Mr. Isaacs.
Yes, Dr. Hartzler, President McAdams, members of the board, good evening. We formed a little committee several months ago to look at different manufacturers of video boards and scoreboards with athletics. The committee was with athletics and the video production folks. And through the committee, we looked at several different boards. We priced them. The pricing of the boards was really 2.5%, 3% difference. And based on the performance that we've seen with the Watchfire board and the job AMAX did installing it and the support that they've given us, we decided to move back to that system for the internal board at the UMAC. Watchfire Sign Company is a big video board manufacturer. They probably have 50,000 video boards in the United States. They've been in business for 100 years. They provide us great product support. AMAX is the same way. I was talking to the AMAX rep at about 5:20. He always answers the phone. Doesn't matter. I can call him on Saturday. And we've just had really good success, reliability and service and support for that video board on the football field, so we feel confident going back to them for the internal board inside the UMAC, or boards. There's going to be 4 of them, and then there's fixed scoreboards for basketball, and then all that has to configure and work together to provide all the basketball statistics that will be shown on the video board. So it'll be another enhancement for the UMAC. As you know, we're working on the lights and the sound system. A lot of this is going to take place after basketball season. So,
And our
any questions?
current scoreboard's been there for quite a while, right?
Since the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
21 years.
Yeah.
Second?
All right. Ms. Romerman? Yes. Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
Consider and take action on the bid for the high school nurse's office renovation and award the contract to Watts Company in the amount of $197,711 from bond funds. Mr. Isaacs.
This was really an interesting bid that we got, and it's the reason we advertise. When we get projects put together like this, we advertise them publicly, and you just never know what you're going to get for a bid sometimes. And this gentleman has I've talked to him a couple times on the phone about his bid, and he's been in business forever. He worked at Sand Springs Public Schools, and so with his bid, he's confident about the project. The project's going to expand the nursing office at the high school, provide more room for beds, more room for admin, and a waiting area that's a little bigger. So it's not a difficult project, but when we compound it with we got to get it done this summer, it makes it difficult. So, but he's really confident in his number, and he provided the bonds and all the information he needed. So I couldn't really turn him away. So we're ready to go.
Yeah, and I appreciate all the information in here about the bid process. So thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second?
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Ms. Romerman? Yes. Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
Under Finance, consider and take action on a resolution pertaining to the district's $33 million combined purpose general obligation bonds of 2024, including fixing the amount of bonds to mature each year, fixing the time and place the bonds are to be sold, approving the preliminary official statement, and authorizing distribution of same, authorizing the clerk to give notice of said sale as required by law, and approving other matters related to the issuance of bonds. Dr. Williams.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. This is the first step in the process of our 2024 bond sale in the amount of $33 million. You'll remember this is the second year out of our 2023 series bond that we just passed last year about this time. In the $33 million bond for 2024, the largest project that we will be funding is the 6th and 7th grade center. We've allocated $17 million to get that project going, as well as other roofing projects, maintenance and repair projects around the district, technology, software purchases, and our normal sort of allocations. This resolution sets our sale date as March 11th, which is, of course, the March board meeting. Also specifies that the district will accept bids for the bond via the electronic parity system that we've used for a number of years. This resolution also approves the preliminary official statement, the POS, which was included with your documents, and allows us to distribute that to bidders as part of the bond sale that we normally do. I would also want to note that we have Jerica Dawson with MFS here this evening to answer any questions, but this is kind of our routine process for the sale of the bonds. We have had our bond counsel due diligence call, and we'll be gearing up for the ratings call in the next couple of weeks.
No, well done. I mean, generally I've combed through this every word. There's no need to do that. And trust you all implicitly. This has become routine, and I very much appreciate the diligence that you all put into this.
Thank you.
And move for approval.
Second.
Ms. Roman? Yes. Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
All right, new business. Anyone signed up to speak? Okay. Any board members or anyone have anything to say? Okay. Our next item is executive session. Motion and vote pursuant to Oklahoma Statute Title 25, Section 307B1, to go into executive session to discuss evaluations and stipends for the superintendent, deputy superintendent, and chief financial officer.
Move for approval.
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Ms. Roman? And the chair votes yes as well. We are in executive session.